Hello, 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 everyone. How is it going? Just, we have our fourth? I gotta actually look. How many podcasts do I have left before? 1, 2, week 4, 5, I'm betting special. Okay. Cool. How's it going, folks? I'm just sorting out some stuff for. We have our fourth podcast. Road to E3 Week 4 is being recorded a bit later tonight in a couple hours. And I'm just sorting out topics and stuff. And I figured, I'm a little bored because I'm kind of twiddling my thumbs waiting for Eric to get here because he won't be here for another 90 minutes. So I'm just kind of trying to go back. There was a post I asked for fan topics a while back. I'm actually looking for here. Hey, Yasuki Uchilla, welcome to the stream. Aha, there it is. Okay. I'm just seeing if there's any for the topic we have for next week's podcast. Our theme for that podcast. So I'm just seeing if there was any fan topics here that and you guys can submit to. For those who know, our road to E3 Week 4 podcast is recorded tonight, releases on Monday. It deals with what we expect from third-party companies on Switch. So you should talk about your clickbait titles and the effectiveness versus not clickbait. That's probably a semi-serious question. Pikmin 4. Obviously, a lot of Nintendo questions here. What ports will be announced? Fire Emblem, DLC Amiibo, esports. Yeah, okay. Nothing too big in there. Hey, Zenith and Ryan Lista, how's it going? This isn't going to be a very long stream. Maybe an hour. Maybe. I got to organize some podcast topics here. So this is Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode 66. Road to E3, week 45, week 4. All right. So our lead topic's probably going to deal with Ubisoft, because we did get some news today on some stuff that Ubisoft is showing for sure. Because Ubisoft announced just like a handful of games that they're trying to get people a little hyped and looking forward to their presser. And they announced a handful of games. I'm going to see at their conference. The Division 2, Beyond Good and Evil 2, For Honor, Skull and Bones, Starlink Battle for Atlas. And right now, the only game we know for sure is Starlink Battle for Atlas that was already announced. And they didn't put this in here, but assuming Just Dance is still a thing, there'll probably be a Just Dance 2018. Or would it be 2019? I don't even remember how they do the years. Is it 2019? And then beyond that, we don't actually know anything else. I guess Donkey Kong Adventure DLC. And then alright, gotta get a list here. This is the easiest one to do because Ubisoft put out a list themselves. Beyond Good and Evil 2. For Honor. Skull and Bones. All right, next company. What do you guys want to see us cover? What third-party stuff do you guys want to see us cover in this episode? Let me actually get Streamlabs back up here. You guys might hear my 2-year-old yelling in the background. How does the shot game work? Are you taking the shots? Yes. Obviously, I am the one taking the shots, Lance King. I can't make you guys take the shots. Wouldn't that be something, huh? If you paid money and I reached through the screen and poured alcohol down your throat, wouldn't that be entertaining? So this week's podcast topics are dealing with third-party Switch talk. So is there any third-party companies you'd like us to talk about on this podcast that we're recording tonight? I'm not here to actually have the conversation yet because it's going to happen on the podcast with our panel. But Ubisoft was an obvious one because Ubisoft already has stuff confirmed for Switch. You know, I suppose we could talk about Mail Me a Shot. Right? Let me just reach through the screen and pour it down your throat. You honestly thought the Mario Tennis Aces demo would be playable offline. So, Young Wee, that demo is playable offline. It's just only playable while the online tournament stuff is happening. So, you don't, like, all it does is do an online check. And that online check it's doing is just to see if the demo is supposed to be active or not. Once it does that check, I guarantee you can disconnect your internet and continue to play that offline mode. Like, it doesn't need the online to play it. It checks online to see if the service is supposed to be active. So, it's cool. A general chat. This is a live chat, man. There's no general chat. But yeah, you guys have any companies you want us to cover and talk about for third-party companies, potential Switch games? Obviously, you know, the other big one out there is EA. I don't even know if we know of any EA games that are confirmed as coming to Switch this year. EA, let me look here. Let me actually look up if there's any EA games coming to Switch. So on their official website, EA's official website, yeah, they only have FIFA 18 and Faye listed. But of course, anything, you know, anything else, we don't really know. I guess the one thing we could think about is FIFA 19. Man, I'm trying to think what else they have. I think they're still doing NBA Live. EA games. Let's go 2018. I'm just looking up a list of EA games here. I was apologizing in the sense that I was talking about a first-party title. That's okay. You could mention the confirmation that Call of Duty and Battlefield 5 are not coming. I could. All right. Anthem. Okay. Anthem's one I forgot about. Doesn't mean we're going to talk about all of these titles. I'm just giving all the people that are going to be on the podcast kind of something to work with. Let's see here. I don't know if anything else is confirmed in development for EA besides those games. All right. I guess obviously we got to talk about Bethesda. Wolfenstein 2, because that releases after E3 for them. All right, let me see what games Bethesda has coming that we're aware of already. Obviously, there's games that we're not sure of. Let's see here. Bethesda. Oh, yeah. We already know one for sure. That was already announced. Rage 2. Alright, let me just kind of glancing at they don't really have a lot announced right now. Bethesda doesn't. How old is this article? Okay, this isn't too old. There isn't a lot we know. There just isn't a lot we actually know that's in development. That's pretty much it. I don't think we actually know anything else that's in development at Bethesda right now. Everything else is going to be a surprise, though, if there's a new Fallout or something like that. Ninja Gaiden. Capcom would be interesting to cover. They are bringing Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. Should make its way to us at some time as well. Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2 would be a dream. Jeez. Ninja Gaiden. I'm trying to think what other companies to cover here. I guess Square Enix. We know that they have Octopath Traveler coming. Hey! Kevin Schnicky, time to start the weekend. I will match your shot on my side. Oh, man. You're going to go shot for shot with me? That's dangerous. I know we're only going to be streaming for about an hour, but what happens if I get like 30 super chats? Are you going to go 30 shots deep with me? Because I'll go there. I'll be drunk on the podcast. That doesn't bother me. We've had drunk Darren on the podcast. We can have drunk Nate. Shot for shot. Thank you so much. Not a shot, but classy AF. Thanks, Lance King. Anyways, yeah. So you guys have any third-party companies you would like me to cover? I saw a Capcom mention. Let me finish off the Square Enix list here. By the way, Lance King, thank you so much. Let me finish up the Square Enix one. I want to make sure we cover the companies you guys are most interested in hearing on next week's podcast, Road to E3. Let me see here. Square Enix games coming to Switch. I was wondering if there was any other... let me go to the Square Enix store. They have Switch games. Okay, they only have Lost Spears, the only game they released. But we know Octopath Traveler's coming. Okay. All right, what games do we know are in development already? Let's see what they have publicly listed here. They promised new Final Fantasy games this year, so we'll probably see something Final. That is one of their announcements. Square Enix promises multiple blockbuster games for 2018. Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3. Duh. Forgot that they're the ones that make Kingdom Hearts. That's obviously one of the biggest games heading into E3 right now. Oh, Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, that's previously been announced. That wouldn't be a new Final Fantasy game. That would be a previously announced remake. Let's see here. I'm just glancing at stuff they've already announced. Oh, we don't have Dragon Quest yet on Switch. I think it's Dragon Quest 11, or is it 10? I can't remember if it's 11 or 10. You guys remind me if it's Dragon Quest 10 or Dragon Quest 11. That's still in development for Switch. That's actually one we know about. It's in dev for Switch. So I can move that up. Is there any other Square Enix games I'm missing before I move on that we know are in development? Hey, Thomas Maynor. I want to see Drunk Nate just doing my part. I mean, the thing is, well, if you want to see it for sure tonight, like if you guys get me smashed before I'm done with this stream, then you want to go become a $10 backer on Patreon, because our podcast that we record tonight will be live streamed to $10 and up Patreon backers. So you'll be able to see all the drunk antics that might get cut out of the final podcast version that releases next week. Yeah, a long ways to go though before I'm drunk. So only 3 shots in. Yeah, Dragon Quest I know has been delayed. All right, Sega, BioWare, 2K. Okay, getting some good suggestions in there. We did have a mention of Capcom before. We know that Mega Man 11's in development for Switch. Let's see here. Does I'm trying to remember, is Monster Hunter coming before or after E3? I can't remember. Oh yeah, we obviously know Resident Evil 7, even though that's come out in a way that has upset a lot of people. That has released in Japan. Okami HD, that's right. Can't forget about Okami HD. It's coming to Switch. Monster Hunter. Games we know are in dev, but not yet confirmed for Switch. I'm not sure if we know of let me see if there's any announced games right now. Yeah, the only it doesn't look. Let me look. There's a list of video games in development here. I'm trying to find Capcom. Do. Here's like a rumor list for something for Capcom games. Oh yeah, no, that was the old list. Sorry. Is there any Capcom games I missed? Let me look here. You guys might know more than I do. You're watching me in playing Splatoon. Nate, I'll get the Mega Man Legacy Collection on Switch. I got the first one yesterday. Next month you'll get the second. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe eventually. Money's really tight right now because of the trip to E3. But we'll see how the funds are sitting after E3. Because basically, as soon as I get back from E3, I got to pay some bills. Thank you, Thomas Manor says, come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3. Dude, we all want Mother 3. All of us want Mother 3, man. Thank you so much, Thomas Manor. Pretty much the game that will launch alongside Nintendo Online service. You mean Smash? You want a Devil May Cry collection and Mass Effect trilogy. Okay, I hear you on that, Chad. Batman Arkham game on Switch. I mean, we got that Telltale Batman game, which is pretty good actually, but yeah, getting the whole Arkham series would be sweet. Because we did get City, was it, that we got on Wii U? Man, we don't really know of any other. Capcom must have a lot of surprises coming because I'm not seeing anything about games they've already announced. Besides the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition, but I think that already came out. Ace Attorney. Is that a Capcom? Is Ace Attorney Capcom? I'm actually curious. There's supposed to be a new Ace Attorney coming this year. Who owns Ace Attorney? Let me look here. Capcom. Okay. So that's one to add to the list that we know about that's coming this year. Or supposed to come this year. We'll probably see at E3. I can't think of any more for Capcom here. All right. What other companies did you guys want me to cover? How could we forget Fortnite? Yeah, that's one. I'm going to put that in the other section, like developers that are like known for one game. The PS Vita got Assassin's Creed, and the Switch needs one too. I hear you on that. Okay, I'm going. Okay, 2K. Can't forget 2K. I don't know if there's NBA 2K19. That's one that might be coming to Switch. Games we know are in dev, but not yet. But not yet. For Switch. What do we know 2K is working on right now? We obviously WWE 2K19. The only reason I'm not putting that up in the potential because it was already there is because the way that the version that released last year, they can't do that again, or they're gonna completely kill the franchise on Switch. Red Dead Redemption 2, we know that's in development. But 2K upcoming games 2018. Let's see here. Red Dead Redemption 2. Mafia 3? Is that something that's in development right now? I'm confused. Okay, that's not a very good website. I'm going to go to 2K's official website and see if they have an upcoming list. Yeah, Mafia 3 is already out. Duh. Oh, okay. We know Borderlands 3 and Civ Online. Those are two games that are confirmed as being in development yet, but not. Don't know much else. Don't know much else. All right. I think that's good for 2K. Other random games, we obviously have to put, PUBG, Fortnite as potential games for us to talk about, third-party wise, coming to Switch. Let's see here. PS Vita, even an HD version of the PS. 2K, notice I didn't put GTA 5 on there, question mark, because it's not an actually in development game. Yo, what's up, bro? Hey, RX Stream Gaming, how's it going, man? This isn't going to be a very long stream. Maybe another hour at most. Basically until Eric gets here. I'm trying to finalize all the games, third-party games, and third-party companies we should be talking about that could potentially come to Switch, or whether or not we think it's going to come to Switch or shouldn't come to Switch. Because we're recording our Road to E3 episode 4 tonight. It is live again for $10 backers on Patreon. Otherwise, the rest of you guys will see it on Monday. And I'm just gathering what companies you want me to cover, what games from those companies, games we know are coming to Switch versus games that are announced but we don't know are coming. Company behind Spyro and Crash. I think it's Activision. Pretty sure we're talking about Activision. Activision Blizzard. Technically, it's Activision Blizzard. So let's add them in here. Activision Blizzard. We know that the Crash Insane trilogy's coming. Let's see here. Games we know are in dev, but not yet confirmed for Switch. Technically, I'm throwing Black Ops 4 on here, even though that has been, they said it's not coming to Switch, but you never know. They could lie. And Spyro Remastered. Yeah, dude, Total Biscuit, man. I don't know how many of you guys know who Total Biscuit is, but he's been a gaming critic and a YouTuber for quite some time, and he lost his battle with cancer today. We kind of had some foreshadowing that it was going to happen this year, that he was going to pass away and pass away soon, because he recently, not only did this month that he retire from being a game critic, he talked about how he wanted to only create streams and video game content with his wife, so he could pass the channel on to his wife, and he announced that he was, his liver was failing, and the cancer had spread to several other parts of his body, and chemotherapy wasn't working anymore. And once you hit that point, I mean, you're at the end, and he was trying to prepare people for the end. And his wife announced on Twitter not too long ago that he passed away, and it's sad. He had a big impact on the Nintendo Prime podcast. Ironically, the thing that it's not even ironic, but the thing that we're having a little stream about here, I'm not getting super emotional about it. I said on Twitter I wasn't really sure how to react, because I'm not sure how to react. Obviously if it was a close family member to me, I don't even know if I could continue making content for a little bit. Guys know my grandfather's in the hospital, and if he passes away, I don't know what's going to happen with me emotionally. But the thing is, I never met Total Biscuit. I kind of just enjoyed him from afar, his co-optional podcast, all that stuff. I'd really only check him out a few times a year, but the co-optional podcast, I will say, did inspire the Nintendo Prime podcast. So I got to give shout-outs to him for that, and I wish his family, his friends, all of his fans the best in their time of mourning. And it'll be interesting to see if his wife will build off of the legacy and make sure that Total Biscuit's never forgotten. Cynical Brit, John Bain is his real name, for those who don't know. But yeah, he was one of the most influential game critics to exist on YouTube. I think that's fair to say of him. You can always rely on him to be as honest as possible. It's just tough for me, though, because I don't have that close connection with him. I wasn't a huge follower of his, but he inspired some work I did. So I'm very aware of who he is. He just had a lot of different viewpoints than I did, so it just kind of got to the point where I like listening to opposing viewpoints to my own, but I don't know. He just never really resonated with me as well as he did with some other people. I just really respected his honesty. He's going to be missed. Game Freak would not be a third-party company. Nintendo partially owns Game Freak. That would be a second-party company. Activision Blizzard 2018 games. I'm trying to remember. I think there's some other stuff that they've announced. Okay, here's all the press releases. Black Ops 4. Okay, I don't really have much there. I don't care about their earning results. Actually, their earning results here. I wonder if their earning results will have upcoming, like a list of upcoming games like Nintendo does. Yeah, that's right. They own Candy Crush. All right. I know they own World of Warcraft, Overwatch, blah blah blah. Okay. I totally forget that, Activision Blizzard's like a three-tiered company. You have the Activision side, the Blizzard side, and King. They're all one company, but they operate, as three separate segments. It's just really, really interesting. It's a very interesting company because they're like one of the biggest companies in the world, Activision Blizzard. But yet there's so stark differences between each major division, from Activision, Blizzard, and King. I mean, they even separate out the revenues. I mean, it all combines at at the end on the final sheet. But it's just interesting seeing how all that works. All right. Nope, they didn't have anything in there. Financial results on any upcoming games. Will 2018 be their best year yet? Why would they say that? Okay, that was just talking about profits. I'm not. Yeah, I don't see. I'm not seeing anything besides Black Ops and Spiral. Huh. All right. Well, we'll go with that. The 8th company we want to talk about. Let me see here. I'm just scrolling up to see what other companies gave. We had BioWare's covered under EA. Sega. We could talk about Sega. I don't even remember if they have any announced games upcoming on Switch. Let's see here. I feel like there's something announced. Let me go to their Nintendo Switch side. I don't know what this game is, but Sega has it on their website. Shining Resonant Refrain. My Football Manager's already out. That's their only upcoming one they have currently announced. Okay. No, the Master System stuff. Sega Ages, yeah. I suppose I could throw Sega Ages on there. Upcoming Sega games. Did they have anything? Upcoming games. Here we go. They got a whole list of it. I don't want. Let's see here. Okay, here's a few of them. Games we know are in dev, but not yet confirmed for Switch. Obviously, this is a PC franchise here, but Total War, Three Kingdoms. God, I love the Total War franchise. Shenmue 1 and 2. Maybe mention 3? Question mark. And they have 2 Point Hospital, some PC game. Looks like a more of an indie style. That's all they have announced for upcoming. I mean Sonic Mania Plus, I guess. We know that's coming. It's DLC. Sonic Mania Plus comes out in July. All right. All right. Let me see if there's any other companies. Gotta make sure we cover all of our bases. Hey, Edward. Oh yeah, Sonic Racing. That's not confirmed yet for Switch either. They don't have it listed on their website. That's why I forgot about it. Sonic Racing. Good call. Good call. Chat's dead tonight. Yeah, well, this is just kind of a gathering grounds and getting some ideas and stuff for what third-party stuff, third-party companies, and third-party games you want us to cover on the next Nintendo Prime podcast. Road to E3 Episode 4 that we are recording tonight live for $10 Patreon backers and up. Otherwise, the rest of you guys will see it, the full edited version on Monday. Love another Streets of Rage, right? Right? Okay, so I got Sega covered. I did 2K already. Let me just scroll up here. Stitched earlier said mail me a shot. That's funny. I wonder how much it would cost me to like put like a little one-shot vial. You know, go buy it at the store. You know, like $1 and then ship it to you. I wonder how much that would cost to ship a shot to someone. Hey, super chat me $20 and I'll send you a $1 shot from the store. Oh God. Don't do that. I'm not gonna mail out alcohol. I feel, something feels dirty when you talk about mailing out alcohol to Nintendo Prime fans, unless we had an officially branded and legal to sell like Nintendo Prime Vodka or something that we were allowed to do something with. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to put Grasshopper on there specifically, but I'll put them other under random games to talk about. Travis Strikes Again. No. Technically, I would consider that an indie title more so than... because I'm talking more about traditional AAA studios, but we'll throw it on there. I think it's a big enough deal, especially since it's going to lead directly to No More Heroes 3. That I think it's a big enough deal to throw that on there. Cars and Shoe just so hyped for Switch. Like, dude. Man. Hyped for E3. Man. I'm beyond hyped for E3. I can't, I just needs to get here. Oh, speaking of E3, I have to register. I have to do that before the podcast tonight. I have to register for sorry, I thought I had a text. I have to register for something. For EA Play. Happens the weekend I land there. I need to register because they'll let me skip lines and play some games. Hoping that one of the games or some of the games to play are on Switch. Even if it's only FIFA 19. If that's the case, then we gotta go get that footage of FIFA 19 on Switch. I mean, I hope Madden's on Switch. I hope Madden's on Switch so bad. I love Madden. Checking the old Twitter here. What other third-party companies to cover? There's so many. I know I'm forgetting someone major in here somewhere. No, it's not Konami. I don't feel like we need to talk about Konami. Upcoming, let's just go third-party Switch games. Let's see if there's a third-party Switch game that pops up that I'm not thinking of. Oh my god. Hold on. I already whitelisted this page. I hate this. I hate when websites pop up and think, hey, we can't let you view this because you have ad blocker on. It's like, well, no crap, I have ad blocker on. Oh, yeah, Dark Souls Remastered. Who makes that again? That's From Software? Yeah, I knew I was forgetting something. Let's see here. Just scrolling down here on this list of games already announced for Switch that are of the AAA variety. Obviously, it's a pretty small list. But I want to make sure that I'm not missing one. Like I literally forgot about Dark Souls Remastered, and that was on this list. Wolfenstein 2 I already have listed. Fire Emblem, obviously that's all Nintendo games. Last page here. Project Octopath Traveler's already up there. Bayonetta 3. That wouldn't count as a third party though, because Nintendo pays for that. Shin Megami Tensei. I suppose that would count. Who makes Shin Megami Tensei? Well, whatever. I don't remember who makes it, but we're gonna throw Shin Megami Tensei on the list because that's been announced for Switch. So that's obviously one we need to talk about. Steep. How could I forget Steep? Where's Ubisoft? Hold on. Ubisoft. We have to talk about it, even if the talk ends up being that it's not coming. Oh man. All right, that's all they have on that list. Is there any companies I'm forgetting, guys? Do you think that a bunch of people trying out RE7 Cloud version might have slowed down the Japanese servers? Here's the thing. Like, if you are playing Resident Evil 7 in the United States, because I have it downloaded, I haven't tried booting it up today. It's going to be like crap because you're not playing on local servers. You're playing on servers that are across the ocean. So you're not going to have a good experience at all. You're just not going to. Cloud gaming only works when you have a server nearby, in a nearby location. So I've heard in Japan that it actually works pretty well. If you have good internet in Japan, it works well. Especially when you're playing portable, it looks pretty damn good, and for many people, indiscernible from Xbox One and PlayStation 4. However, I have heard when you dock it, that it is blurry. Like you could tell it's a streaming game because it's not running at the native resolution of the TV. It's doing like that Netflix thing, you know, where when sometimes you can't get that 100% full resolution on Netflix, so it drops it down a couple notches, and you can clearly tell you're watching a 720p or a sub HD feed on your 4K TV. But I mean that the game still plays fine, plays great. There's not a lot of response issues with controls, but that on the big screen you can really tell that it's struggling to try to stream from the server that full HD visuals. However, on handheld, I heard it's a very passable experience in Japan. That's what I've heard from Japan, and those are the people that I care most about for their opinions on this cloud streaming stuff, because, well, that's what it would probably be like in the U.S. if they had local servers with it. So, Kevin Shanky says, do you agree that if Madden doesn't come on the Switch this year, that EA support will never happen? I mean, they might bring FIFA 19 because apparently they were happy with FIFA 18 sales. But yeah, I don't know if we're ever going to... I don't know that Madden's the be-all, end-all on major... on major EA support. But I think EA support is going to be minimal at best anyways. Madden's kind of like the one I'm throwing out there as a curveball, where they say, hey, look, FIFA 18 sold okay. Maybe Madden can sell okay too. But we'll see. Thomas Maynard up in here wants Telltale The Walking Dead on Switch. Maybe I could throw Telltale on. They're probably a big enough studio to not be considered an indie developer now. They work with major IPs. They have to be big enough at this point. So Edward Norton hitting back to back there. Thank you so much, Edward. Appreciate it. We're gonna finish off this bottle, aren't we, tonight? That's fine. I need to get a new one anyways for our Escalator stream on Monday. By the way, I hear, pray tell, the Escalator stream on Monday is gonna get crazy because Mark Greenberg said he's going to show up and he's going to be making me climb that damn ladder on the shot chart in a hurry. It's going to be nuts. Dude, what do you think about the Switch dockless bundle? I'm planning to make a video about it. It's already recorded, so I would love to hear my thoughts. Hey, it's Anthony. So I actually... I have a preliminary notes written down on a follow-up video I wanted to do because I announced it was coming. I kind of in a rushed video got it out there, and I haven't really formulated my full thoughts on it. Where I think it could position itself in the market, whether or not it could be viable, whether or not it isn't a good idea. Obviously, without an AC adapter, like that's a big no-no. You can't in the U.S. I don't want to see them new Nintendo 3DS this stuff and 3DS XL it. And throw out a system without an AC adapter. That would just be idiotic in my opinion, especially this early in the Switch's life cycle. But that little issue aside, I think options are always good. I also think that not having a dockless version at launch was probably a smart choice, in so much as wanting to sell the concept of the Switch. Because if you would have had a dockless version at launch and one with a dock, the dockless version would have probably massively outsold the docked version because people would have bought it as a standalone handheld to replace their 3DS. And that also would have landed into the territory where Nintendo keeps trying to say the Switch doesn't replace the 3DS, while a dockless Switch clearly replaces a 3DS. So the fact they keep calling it a home console means I think it was very key to only sell the docked version at launch. Now, however, I'll show that comment, B Vega. Very few people will know what you're talking about, though. Now, however, I think it's okay to potentially bring out a dockless version. I always figured by the end of 2019 they would have a dockless bundle for Switch anyways. I figured it was coming. I don't know if it's coming at the end of 2018 now, but I do know that by the end of 2019 I expected it. Basically, I expected them at E3 2019 or in an event before or shortly after to announce like a Switch Pro or a Switch Plus or a Switch XL or whatever that's a little bit more powerful using a Tegra X2. And at that time, they would also hit on the budget-oriented, right when they're releasing, a new $300, $350 version of Switch, they would hit on the budget side and say, hey, but we're going to take the dock out of the old one, and we're going to put that one out there for only like $200 or something. I figured that they would do that next year. It appears that the dockless version could hit in the United States maybe this year. It's already hit in Japan, so we'll see what happens. It's not in retail stores yet in Japan. They're only selling it on Nintendo's official website, but it's a start. It's always a start. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think it's a good idea overall because I think options are good, and I think there's plenty of people that don't care about having a dock. And if they decide they want a dock, they can buy a standalone dock later, and Nintendo actually makes more money. Because if you buy a standalone dock and the dockless version of Switch, Nintendo makes more money than if you would just buy the bundle. So ultimately, I think it's a win-win for Nintendo, and I think it's a win-win for consumers because consumer choice is always good. It's not like Kinect where I felt like Xbox One should have had a bundle with Kinect and without Kinect at launch because I don't think Kinect was ever an essential part of the platform, whereas Nintendo can argue the dock itself is an essential part of making people understand the capabilities of Switch. And now that Switch is a well-known entity, a lot of people know what it is. I don't necessarily think the dock is needed as a reminding people you can play it on your TV kind of thing. Helena Gray said, I look like a cute overgrown baby. Can I adopt you? I'll buy you all the alcohol, my sweet baby. My parents might object to adopting me. My children might object because they don't want me to move. But that's a funny comment. Hey, you know what? Apparently I look like a cute overgrown baby. Maybe that's a shot at my weight or something. I don't know. But you know what? Or maybe you're saying I have a baby face. Guess that's all good. Yo, came in here to the chat, but I'm also super saddened at the moment. And damn this long ad. Okay, now I'm free from the damn 2-minute long. The ads on the streams, yeah. I hardly make any money off the stream ads. Maybe. I think I've made like $4 in the last year off the ads on streams. But whatever, they're on by default. So because my channel has ads on by default, so whatever. $4 gained is better than $4 not gained. Just like a penny gained on Twitch is better than a penny not. Speaking of Twitch, I am on Twitch. Our Story 1 says, I love you. Please shout me out. He's the only person watching us on Twitch. There you go. I shouted you out. Congrats. You guys just also saw a quick glimpse of my Streamlabs OBS. Hey, Nate. Glad to see you back on the grind. Yeah, dude. I'm working on. We have I would say I got 2 videos out today. I'm working on a 3rd video. I don't think it's going to hit tonight. Probably tomorrow morning about Sushi Striker, the way of the Shishido. Been playing that demo. B Vega, how do you donate from your phone? Let me actually look. I know you have to use the YouTube app, by the way. So if you're watching through a web browser, it won't work. But if you go to the YouTube app and you watch our stream, it should work on iPhone and Android. So like I'm on Android right now, and you guys can kind of hear me. When I load up the chat on Android, down where you can type your chat, there's a little money symbol, and I tap on that money symbol. And then I can send super chats that way. Another way you can donate, by the way, is literally, if that doesn't work, in the description of the live stream, there is a donation link to Streamlabs. You can also, tap or click on that and donate as well. And I appreciate donations there. But this is from Matthew Campos. But yeah, this is just a random stream I'm doing while I wait for Eric to get here, so we can finish setting up for the Nintendo Prime podcast tonight. And as I said, if you guys would like to see the Nintendo Prime podcast live, it is exclusive for our Patreon backers at the $10 tier and up at patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. Link to that is in the description as well. Then you get to watch the podcast on Thursday nights live at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, or Central Time at this point. We're off daylight savings. Yeah. Otherwise, you guys will see it on Monday. You can also get the audio version early on Patreon for just $5 a month on Sundays. But otherwise, yeah, our fully edited with the green screen and used version. Otherwise, what's cool about the $10 tier is it's not just that they get the podcast, they get the behind the scenes and a little bit after. So they see us setting up the podcast. They get all the banter that happens between us beforehand as we're talking about how we're going to approach the episode. So they kind of get some behind the scenes. They also see everything. So if any bloopers or anything gets cut out of the final edited version, well, it's not cut out for the $10 backers because they can see it. And you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it later, too. Like, if you can't make that time to watch it live, you can watch it anytime that weekend. Like, it just stays up on Patreon for $10 and up backers. Kind of cool stuff. Tech Talk is live right now. God, love Jay's 2 cents. I thought that was reaching a bit with no Pokemon's on the way. It's Anthony. He had to go. See you, man. Kevin Schneeky says, I think OJ was right that a dockless Switch. Yeah, I didn't watch his video on that, but I saw his title, right? He said dockless Switch indicates that, it was like something about dockless Switch means Pokemon's on its way. It's like, I don't think a dockless Switch was needed to indicate Pokemon's on its way. We already know Pokemon's on its way. Yeah, I don't think there's really a correlation there, to be honest. But whatever. I mean, he's going to be right because if we get a dockless Switch this fall and then Pokemon comes, it's going to look like he's right. But I think they're completely unrelated events because they view dockless Switch in Japan the way they're advertising it as, hey, if you already own a Switch and would like a second one, well, buy this. So that's the way they're advertising it, and I don't know that that's the way Nintendo would want it to be advertised in the U.S. Like, hey, do you want Pokemon and already own a Switch? Here, buy another one. Like, I don't think that's the way they look at it for advertising purposes. Oh, Matthew Campos hit us with a donation through Streamlabs. He says, one of my E3 predictions, Resident Evil 7 Cloud will be announced during the E3 Direct and be available in the U.S. and Europe after it. Book it. Wouldn't that be interesting? Then I could finally stream it not on Japan servers. Let me get your shot in here. Whew, almost empty. Probably got 1 or 2 shots left. Thank you for that, Matthew. Oh, RoboP, you're saddened about Total Biscuit. Yeah, I tweeted about it. Talked about it a little bit earlier in the stream. Total Biscuit is one of, calling him Total Biscuit at this point. I feel. I know, it's being respectful to his YouTube channel that was called Total Biscuit and his Twitter and stuff, known as the Cynical Brit. His real name is John Bain. I feel like he is one of the OG YouTube critics for gaming that really popularized the idea that game critics didn't need to be keyboard warriors that just sat there and made game reviews all day long. That he is one of the pioneers that made people like me able to do what I do. And that is sit in front of a camera like I am right now and talk about video games and be passionate about video games and talk about my experience with video games without necessarily having to be a review. Because basically it was, you had sparing podcasts here and there, like Giant Bomb, and then you had reviews. And that was basically it for criticism. Otherwise it was just, here's a bunch of news, here's a game review. Here's a bunch of news, here's a game review. And I feel like Total Biscuit made it more normal to have these conversations about video games outside of just a straight up podcast and just game reviews. And I feel like I owe him a little bit of gratitude for that. I was never a huge fan of his work in general. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and he was just one that never really vibed with me, but I had a lot of respect for him, and he did help inspire the Nintendo Prime podcast and Zelda Inquiries way back in the day. If you ever go back and watch an old Zelda Inquiries episode, you'll notice that the format seems awfully similar to a certain Total Biscuit show called the Co-Optional Podcast. Might have been a little bit of inspiration there. But he'll be missed. Obviously, we've known for most of this month that his time was coming to a close because, you know, I think it's always safe to say fuck cancer. I don't even care if it's in the middle of the day. Fuck cancer, because cancer is there's a reason there's no cure. There's a reason that we have treatments that we hope will fix it, and maybe your body can fight it off, and it doesn't always work. And it's the case with him where it worked for a little while to prolong his life, but in the end he succumbed to it because his body wasn't fighting it off anymore. So I feel bad for him and his wife, even though they were preparing for it, and all of his loyal followers, his friends, and his family. You know, they're obviously in a time of mourning. It feels like they've probably been in mourning ever since they found out about the cancer back in 2014. But yeah, my well wishes go out to the family, and I hope they're able to carry on his legacy, because it appears that he was trying to set his wife up this entire month to take over the channel and carry on his legacy. And I hope she decides to do that for the sake of not just his fans but herself, if it's something she cares and is passionate about. I thought it didn't work for iPhone. It does work for iPhone, Aiden. It should be in a similar little... I actually tested it. I have an iPhone. I have an iPhone laying right here. It's dead. I can't turn it on because it's dead right now. But yeah, I tested it on an iPhone. It does work on iPhone. You can super chat on iPhones now. That's something they updated like 2 months ago, I want to say. Thomas Manor had to go, dinner time. Later, man. Hey, Christian, welcome to the stream. Suppose I should also check that Twitch chat quick. Our story. Well, I shouted him out. Might have been a little bit late on the shout out, but. All right. Is there any other third-party companies to cover here? To recap, for the podcast tonight, we'll be going over Ubisoft, EA, Bethesda, Square Enix, Capcom, 2K/Rockstar, Activision Blizzard, Sega, and then other random like single title games like PUBG, Fortnite, Travis Strikes Again, Dark Souls Remastered, Shin Megami Tensei. I'm trying to think of if there's any other major AAA third-party companies that might be bringing games to Switch or might be considering it that we're forgetting about. And no, I'm not putting Konami on the list. I'm sorry. I just have no respect for Konami. I don't even want to talk about them on the podcast. Robo P says, I appreciated him strongly for all he did. Times where he didn't hold back his thoughts. He felt like something of a moral compass at times. I could say more. Yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool. That's one thing I always respected about him is, you know what? If I could say nothing else about Total Biscuit, it was that he was always honest to his viewers, not just about his personal life. In maybe in a similar way, you know, to me, where I let you guys in on some of my personal life, not all of it. There's certain things that'll always stay personal because it's personal. But like my grandfather being in the hospital with sepsis and stuff like that. Like I let you guys in on parts of my life. But I like that he was always honest about. You could always tell he was sincere in what he was saying. Agree or disagree with his opinions, there was no doubt about how sincere he was. Talking about stuff, and it's a passion that it's sadly going to be missed. I mean, I've been missing it all month since he announced he wasn't going to be a game critic anymore. So you've been hooked with the Legacy Collection. Yeah, Aiden, dude, the Legacy Collection's sweet. I don't have it because I'm saving money, but playing game demos lately on Switch. Wish I could play Mario Tennis Aces demo, Nintendo. Come on, just like activate that. If you're not going to activate the ability to play offline against CPU, at least activate the training mode, because there's a training mode in the game where you could practice like, you know, serves and stuff like that. At least activate that. You have the instructions in there for how to like do it, like the button presses and stuff. So if you're going to include the instructions to do it, then let us practice at least that if you don't want us playing against CPU yet. But, you know, so Vincent Gretzer mentioned that there's no AC adapter with a dockless Switch. I am aware of that. So I can't see people who don't own a Switch already are going to buy one. Well, the thing is Nintendo is obviously, they've stated this themselves. The dockless Switch was intended to be for people who already own a Switch. Basically, it's say I own a Switch, right? And I want to buy my kids a Switch. Well, instead of buying, spending $300, spend $250 and they can just use my dock and they can use my AC charger and they can charge their Switch. We don't need to buy extra docks and extra chargers. Like that's kind of what Nintendo's inferring there. But I don't think that means people who don't already own a Switch wouldn't buy it, because it is cheaper to buy the dockless Switch and an AC adapter than it is to buy a Switch with a dock. So it's still cheaper to do that for people who have no interest in docked mode. And on top of that, it didn't stop people from buying new Nintendo 3DSs that didn't come with AC adapters and buying them in millions and millions of numbers, a lot of those being brand new consumers who then had to turn around and buy like those $10 cables from GameStop to charge the Switch, their 3DS. So I don't think it's a deterrent. It just means that people might not be using the officially licensed chargers, which you don't have to use. You don't have to use official. I have actually successfully used my Samsung Galaxy 8 USB-C chargers on my Switch off of battery banks and stuff. So if you already have a USB-C charging cable laying around your house, you might already be able to charge your Switch without buying an AC adapter. So it is one of those things where, we're talking about a hypothetical here in the U.S. We know why they're selling it in Japan, but I think if a dockless version does come to Switch and they sell it at retail, it'll include an AC adapter. And I think that's true in Japan as well, by the way. I think if they ever take the dockless version off the Nintendo store and actually sell it in retail stores, then it will include an AC adapter. But as long as you can only buy it online, they're not going to give you the AC adapter. I think that's kind of the difference here. Now, whether or not that messes with the price point, I have no idea. Stitch says, I tried out Happy Birthdays today. Pretty interesting. I can see myself killing hours here. Yeah. I haven't tried out that one yet. I hope it's pretty good. Are you planning to get the Mega Man X Legacy Collection when it does come out? Says Cody. I want to get all of the Legacy Collections for Mega Man because I think I've played all of these games, if not all of them, a majority of them growing up. I don't want to say I've been a big Mega Man fan, but I've always highly enjoyed Mega Man. So, yeah. Right now I'm just conserving all the money I can because I have E3 coming up. After I get back from E3, after I catch up on my bills, because I'm letting myself get a little bit behind on some bills, like my cell phone bill and my electric, so I can handle E3, then get back from E3, and I have another paycheck hitting the Friday I come back from E3, and then I'm going to be paying a bunch of bills with that. Hopefully a bunch of bills with that. It's not a very big paycheck, but hoping I can at least get cell phone and electric caught up from it. And internet. God knows. I should probably check my internet bill. I might already be behind. I might have to pay that before I go, but that sucks. It's like $100, but it's life. It's whatever. But yeah, once I get past all of that, I want to pick up the Legacy Collection. We'll see if I ever do it, because the problem is once we get deep into summer, Aces comes out, and Wolfenstein 2, Crash Insane Trilogy, and a whole bunch of like other games coming out in July. And so we start to hit that cycle where now I'm not content starved as much. So now I'm not looking back at previous releases as much to pick them up. But we'll see. I got the Aces online demo, and I was pretty disappointed. It's funny. It's funny how people are like, hey, I got the Aces online demo, and I'm disappointed that I can't play it offline, even though it says online demo. There is an offline mode. It's just only going to be active during the tournament. All they're doing is a quick online check to see if the tournament's active. And once the tournament's been active, I'm sure you can disconnect the Wi-Fi. Once it verifies it's active, you can probably disconnect from Wi-Fi and play that mode as long as the game's open. But yeah, I'm not. It's not something I'm really that concerned about. I hope Mega Man 11 doesn't get canceled. I don't think it's going to get canceled. I think the Legacy Collections are doing pretty well so far. I think Mega Man 11 is going to come. I mean, they did 9 and 10 over the last 10 years. I think 11 will happen. Boozy Gamer says, do you think we're going to get a Madden port? No, I honestly don't think so, but I hope so. I have high hopes that we get a Madden port and we get like a current gen version, not like a 5 gen. Oh, 20. What currency is that? I was about to say $20, but I don't know if that's... Let me look that up. What is that? What currency is that? I've typed that in, and the first thing that pops up is how many grams are in a $20 bag of cocaine. I don't even know how much is that. Is that actually 20 USD? Hold on, let me look. I don't know how much that is. Is that $20? I've never seen A by the money sign before. What currency is that? Maybe I should go to... that doesn't help me. Is that $20 Australian? I don't know what currency that is. No shots for this one though. Thanks for answering all my questions and hosting a great, honest channel. Thanks, man. I mean, I can do shots if you really want me to. It doesn't bother me, obviously. I don't know. I mean, I give you the full $20 shot for that, which I think is getting iced. I think is what it says. So I have to get iced. Yeah, it's about $15. It's okay. So it's Aus money. Okay, I was confused. Let me actually look up. 20. I'd still give you the get iced for that. $20 Aus to USD. The current conversion is odd. I don't know. Yeah, like you said, about $15 and a few cents. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's the biggest one we've gotten today. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Well, I shouldn't say it's the biggest one. I gave myself a big super chat like at 12:30 this morning. paying myself forward for July. I'm crazy like that at times. Cool. Well, thank you so much for the support, Thark. I really appreciate the 8 Thark. That's awesome. Can't play tutorials. I know. I wish you could play tutorials. I feel like that should be like a minimum. All right. Do you guys think we have like a pretty good, solid, finalized list here for the podcast tonight? Where we got Ubisoft, EA, Bethesda, Square Enix, Capcom, 2K, Activision Blizzard, Sega, and then, you know, PUBG, Fortnite, Travis Strikes Again, Dark Souls Remastered, Shin Megami Tensei. Because, again, remember, the theme for tonight's Road to E3 Week 4 is third-party companies and the games that might be coming to Switch or games we would like from those companies to come to Switch. So the games we know are already coming to the Switch, and then discussions on the games we know are coming and which ones we want on Switch, and if there's any more that aren't announced yet we want on Switch, etc. Is there any companies we're forgetting? Because we're going to go company by company in this podcast with me, Eric, Darren, and a special guest. Aiden McFarland says they don't think they should have released the demo before you could play it. I disagree with that in so much that I feel like it was prudent to still release the demo a week. Well, not maybe a week earlier, but at least a few days earlier, because the last thing you want to do is release the demo when the tournament starts, because now you're bashing the servers to play the demo, which requires an online connection, and you're bashing the servers to download the demo. And we've seen in the past Nintendo has had issues with that. Now you would hope with them launching a paid online service that those issues wouldn't happen anymore. But I think it's okay to release a demo a few days early to let people pre-install it. But yeah, a week early seems like a bit much unless sometime before the start of the tournament they are going to enable these offline modes, which is a possibility. Nobody knows if it's going to happen. I don't expect it to happen, but it could. Yeah, Blizzard, you are correct there. The eighth Thark, that Blizzard usually does most of their announcements at BlizzCon, or pretty much all of them. They have shown stuff at EA's thing, but they're always things that have already been announced. But it is possible that things that like Overwatch could become like a thing that gets announced in Nintendo's Nintendo Direct or whatever they call it. So it's one of those things where new announcements generally happen at BlizzCon, but they'll continue showing stuff of it at E3. So it's still worth talking about in context of E3. The one Mouseketeer, does anyone know anything about Total Biscuit passing away today? So I'll post by Review Tech USA to surprise me. Yeah, he's had cancer. He's at least known that he's had cancer since 2014. He's been doing chemotherapy and all this stuff over the past few years. Originally was told he only had a few months to live, and then he lived obviously a lot longer, and the chemotherapy was working. He announced, I think at the end of April or the beginning of this month, that chemotherapy was no longer working, that the cancer had spread, and he was retiring as a game critic and then trying to transition the channel for his wife to take over because he had a feeling he was going to pass away soon. So it's not a surprise that he passed away. We've kind of known. It's just shocking to a lot of people because it was just like 2 weeks ago that he was on like the Co-Optional podcast or whatever. And it felt like, even though he kept people in the loop and that he was at the hospital and stuff, that that while he might pass soon, that he might be able to make it into the summer a little bit. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So we kind of knew, once he said that basically cancer won, is essentially what he announced earlier this month. We knew that his days were numbered. And sadly, they were numbered a lot faster than people thought. People had thought that maybe he could hold on for a few more months, but it's sad. I mean, at least, well, the one thing we can say is at least it wasn't a shocking, it probably wasn't shocking for him or his family that he passed so quickly, because they knew. So it wasn't one of those things like if I go to a doctor, I'm getting a checkup, I discover that there's a random bump on me somewhere, which I actually have one right here. I was told it's a fat pudule, but they never actually x-rayed it. So I think next time I go in, I might have them actually look at it to make sure that is what it is, or just to make sure it's not like cancer or something. But it's not like me going in and finding out you have cancer and you're going to die next week. Like, that's no time to prepare. He's had years preparing for fighting it, and then obviously before he announced it publicly, his family and everyone knew that he's coming. His days are up. So well wishes to his family and his fan base. I know it's tough to lose anyone. I haven't lost anyone close to me yet. Total Biscuit wasn't close to me, but my heart goes out to the people that are mourning it. I'm gonna miss. I'm always gonna miss Cynical Brit. It's one of those things that I didn't watch the content all the time, but I turned into a Co-Optional podcast probably once every 3 months, and it's gonna be sad that while that podcast is gonna continue, that it's not going to have him in it. Now, I'm probably going to watch their next Co-Optional podcast because I think it's impossible for the rest of the Co-Optional podcast crew to not address the elephant in the room, which is that Total Biscuit, this amazing guy, passed away. So I'm actually very curious of their reactions to it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of crying on that episode, which will probably get me to tear up because I get emotional about this stuff. But I'll be getting the Flashback Collector's Edition. I have no plans to get that. And the Moon can't wait to get home and play Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Go, man. What do you all think of Battlefield 5? I didn't like how the guy swung his heavy machine gun fast. And here's the thing is Battlefield 5. I watched the whole reveal event. Battlefield 5 looks really good. It looks like it's going to be a very, very good video game. But some people have a problem with it. And the problem seemed to be interesting. As an example, one issue that some people take with it is that there is this female in the game who's handicapped, who apparently is this badass soldier, and this is not historically accurate at all to World War II. And this has insulted a lot of people because basically they view the inclusion of this handicapped, badass female just mowing down people and being like this hero type as a slap in the face not only to history, but also that it's essentially EA catering to SJWs and the PC culture, which very well might be the case. We can't know. We're not the developers. Whereas I don't have that cynical viewpoint. My viewpoint is more so, well, it's a video game, and they're taking creative liberty to have a game that just has a wide appeal to a lot of players. They want to expand that fan base, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And then there's some of the obviously the unrealistic machine gun running and reloading, which was not a thing back in World War II. It did not happen that quickly, and it was not that easy to move with those guns. And that bothers some people as well, because not only because it's not historically inaccurate. Like if Call of Duty did that, I don't think people would be too upset. But Battlefield's a game that has prided itself over its years on its authentic realism to history, obviously its own stories, but history and the weapons being used and stuff. And this feels like a bit of a departure from that realism, and that bothers some people. I think overall Battlefield looks like it's going to be one hell of a game. But it's kind of the tricky thing you run into when you make a video game about historical events that, 60 plus million people died during, and it's really hard to like tread that fine line of how do you be respectful to what real history is in this tragic event, and then on top of that create an engaging, fun video game that does its own thing, which is why a game like Wolfenstein, that series, can get away with so much stuff because They just say, look, forget history. We're creating alternative history. And they fully admit it. We're going, Nazis won the war. Now we deal with the aftermath. And that's, as crazy as that sounds and as offensive as that might be to people, it's obviously an alternative reality that doesn't exist. So we don't really need to worry about it. It's not insulting to anyone because that reality doesn't exist. And the futuristic weapons are like this, it's stuff's not real. Whereas Battlefield itself, Battlefield 5, is going to be very much covering real world events. And it's interesting to see some of the back and forth reactions I've seen on both sides for this. I just don't, I'm not offended by it, but I've also played so many World War II games that maybe I'm a little tired of always being 100% historically accurate, including with Call of Duty just last year. It's one of those things where they wanted to differentiate, I think, from Call of Duty World War II, and they figured that this might be the best way to do that. So, thanks for the mature information. No problem. Like, it's the thing. I'm saddened that Total Biscuit is gone, but, and maybe it's easier for me to talk about just because I'm not, like, a major follower of his. I'm very, very aware of who he is. Won the award at the Game Awards in 2014. Been following him for years, back when he was originally talking about World of Warcraft, and I was just running Zelda websites. Like, I'm very aware of who he is. But I guess it's easier for me to talk about because I'm saddened, but I'm also happy in that hopefully he's in a better place and that it wasn't a surprising end, which is good for his family. She says is Boundary Break. Yep. And she says recently lost his father. So it's kind of been a sad month. Total Biscuit passing away. She says losing his father, which was his last living parent because he lost his mother some years ago. Sad day because she says it's like around my age, man. He's not that old to like lose your parents. It sucks. Mark Greenberg, Total Biscuit, a.k.a. Cynical Brit, a.k.a. his real name, John Bain, died today from cancer. He is a massive influencer in the video game critic world because he essentially paved the way for people like me to talk about video games outside of a podcast and outside of a review. He made it okay to criticize video games and talk about them critically by just making a video about a game and talking about it. It just wasn't a thing people were really doing at the time that he did it. You basically either typed up editorials on a website or you created a review, or you were on a game podcast. And there were very few of those podcasts back then. So he kind of helped popularize and push forward the talking head, thing on YouTube. So anyway, he said, what's up, Nate? Who's going to be on the podcast tonight? Well, me, Eric, and Darren. I don't know who else is going to be on yet. And ahoy, Zach Sweenster. How's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day. This stream should be ending soon because I gotta get actually set up for the podcast. This mic's one of the ones we use. One of my studio lights fell, so I gotta fix that. But I want to thank you guys though. You guys did help me create a pretty comprehensive third-party list. I'm sure there's some companies we're missing, and maybe I'll double check with. You'll go on the podcast, Zach. Are you a $20 backer on Patreon? I don't know. Maybe you are a $20 backer on Patreon. I don't even know. No one has signed up for our $20 backer Patreon. I don't even think at all this year. I don't think we've had one person sign up. By the way, yeah, if you guys want to be on a podcast episode, $20 backer on Patreon gets you invited to one podcast a month, and you get to choose which one you're going to be on. And we haven't had anybody sign up. I'm actually curious who are our $20 backers right now. I know Mark is one. Relationship manager. Oh, there we go. That lets me know who's doing what. Yes, Patreon. I've been on this page before. I know how this stuff works. Jeez. I'm going to go to pledges here. All right. So we've got Mark, Josh Walker, Two Holmes. Man, Two Holmes was on a podcast a while back. Neil Willis. Robert Wood used to be, but his card didn't go through this month. And that's it, I guess. So I guess we just have Neil Willis, Two Holmes, Josh Walker, and Mark. And then we have some $10 backers in Zenith, J-Dub, and Edward. And all those guys and above can watch our live podcast. And then we have a slew of $5 backers. $5 by far our most popular tier, where people get the audio version of the edited podcast early. Let's see here. $10 right now, you'll come on the podcast. You're a $5 YouTube and a $5 page. Do you have a proper mic, Zach? Let me check with Darren. But do you have a proper mic? You have to have a semi decent microphone too. That's all. It's all required. If you want to do video as well and you have the ability to do that, you're welcome to. But we only require audio. Let me ping Darren quick because I think he was working on a guest for tonight, but I want to double check with him. Where's Darren? I got to ping him quick and see if he's got a guest coming. But if he doesn't, then you're more than welcome. I guess if you do that, $10 on. Yeah, you could just do a $10 donation, man. You can go straight to my PayPal through donations. So Zach, you can literally just hit that donation link, and plus then I'll have it tracked on my back end here through Streamlabs. So you can just do that $10 donation. You can't go past 10:30, but yes, as long as I can go from my phone. Okay, Zach. Yeah, your phone usually would not be considered good enough quality. You would need like a $50 Blue Snowball mic, or like even a really cheap gamer headset that has an okay mic. Phone mics tend to just have too much background noise. Phone mics are very terrible with background noise. And we can't edit background noise out very well because it comes in through our mixer, which affects our audio recording. And then it also, obviously comes through on your audio recording because you have to not only be on there and have us recording your audio, you need to record your own audio as well. Basically, you need to record from a PC. You can't do it from your phone. Most phones won't support you recording audio you're speaking into while outputting audio to other people. Oh, you have a HyperX Cloud. Okay. Can you do what I said, though, Zach? Where I said you that headset will do. Can you do what I said, though, in that you can record your audio and then also be on Discord or something like that, so we can hear you talk while you're recording audio? Because you need to have your own separate recording. It has to do with the fact that if something gets screwed up on our mixer, we need your audio file. And if we can't have that audio file, we're in trouble. We're in big trouble because that kills the whole podcast. And we use Discord for it, Zach, by the way. We're a Discord kind of group. I could sponsor the booze. Hey man, you want me to do some booze? The chart's right there. We'll be wrapping up this stream here in a little bit. I'm waiting for Darren. Darren's not getting back to me. It's scaring me. He might have passed out. I know he hurt himself at work last week, so he might be on some strong pain meds. Let's put it that way. So if he doesn't show up, I'll be greatly appreciative if the Sweenster can make it work. The Zach Sweenster. Neil Willis! Holy shit! Neil Willis, where the hell did you come from? I haven't seen you in a live stream, and how long has it been, man? Holy crap, dude. Neil effing Willis. What is the $30 one? Watermelon Smash, right? I haven't done a Watermelon Smash in forever. Holy crud, Neil. Out of nowhere. What the hell is happening? Apparently, I just need to do more random live streams, guys. That's when more people can show up. Holy crud. My random live streams do better than my planned ones. Oh, that's Eric. Is he here? Hello? What's up? Yeah, I know. Just one's fine. Yep. Yep. All right, see you. Yep, bye. But I should have put him on speakerphone and had him talk to you guys. Cheers, Neil, man. Holy shit. Oh! I've not done a Watermelon Smash in a long time. Blame that on working, LOL. Dude, I get that, man. I totally get that. I know some people think I don't understand what it's like to work a real job because I'm a YouTuber, but, like, dude, I've been there. I've worked factory jobs. I've worked for a water care company doing repairs on softeners and neutralizers. Worked at freaking McDonald's when I had my first kid. Yeah, I've been all over the place. I've worked a programming job. Yeah, dude, when work hits you hard, it hits you hard, man, and you just have no time for nothing. And I know that as a parent. The only reason I have time for this is because it is my job. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have time for this either. I'd be working my other full-time work stuff. And yeah, wow. Well, thank you, Neil. Thanks for the $30 spot. That was definitely a surprise tonight. Let me see here. Nate was talking about what happened to Neil. Can someone go in Discord? Oh, you were testing, Zach. Oh, hey, Nintendo Direct. Welcome, guys. Zach Sweenster. Yeah, I can record and stream my voice. Can we start soon? Here's the thing, Zach. Zach, my boy. We don't start till 9 p.m. So we're 33 minutes away from starting. Eric's not even here. We start at 9 p.m. So we still have audio testing to do. I have like 15 minutes of setup to still do. So yeah, we don't start until then. Neil said, yeah, it's harder for me to come out now, but I miss it. Yeah, man. I mean, I miss having you around, not just because you're obviously been one of our, heavy hitters and super chats and stuff. Obviously, my pocketbooks have missed your presence, but I've missed having you around in general. You know, the Splatoon, and did you know, Neil? By the way, we only have one more night we're playing Splatoon, and then it's going to be retired for probably a long time. Probably won't play it again until the Octo DLC releases. I hope you can make it out that night for the final night of playing Splatoon 2. That will be not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday. Oh, it might not even be the Wednesday after. I have to figure out when I'm going to do it. I might do it on the Monday stream. Anyways. But yeah, I miss having you out, man. I just miss having you here, man. Chilling like villains. 10:30. So for you, it is. You're on Eastern time, aren't you, right now? So it's 9:30. So for you, we wouldn't be starting till 10. Yeah, it wouldn't be worth it for you for a half hour. Definitely not worth it for you for 30 minutes. So yeah, I would wait until when you could stay later, because we don't start till 9 p.m. Central. So, Zach Sweenster says, O'Neill Willis says, you have the most rewarding and hardest job of all your kids. Yeah. I said this, was it a live stream or a video? I said recently that no offense to like people that are going through cancer and other really hard things in life. I don't know if there's anything harder in life than being a parent. Not necessarily because of personal struggles, but because when you're a parent, everything you do affects the child. And I'm a parent of 3. So like my job here, it affects my children. When I wake up, how late I go to bed, how much I have to drink, like everything I do affects my children. And thankfully I'm not a solo parent. Let me tell you, things would be very different at this channel if I was a solo parent. My fiance passed away, or we weren't together, or she ran off, and I was just solo parenting. There'll be a lot less drinking nights, I can tell you that, because I don't have that other person to rely on to help me. It's such a tough thing. I know some people call it a job. I don't consider it a job, but it's definitely very, very difficult and very trying. Today's been a pretty trying day with the kids. Every day is a pretty trying day, but some days are better than others. Some days you get lucky, and all 3 of my kids just are wonderful little angels for most of the day. But most of the time, that's not the case. There's always one of the 3 that's having a bad attitude, and it just ruins the whole day. Makes it a struggle to get through. It was a struggle earlier today. Oh, man. So Ryan Lisa says, come on, Nate, do the podcast live today. E3 is coming. Yeah. Because I know every now and then I'll do the podcast live, usually to advertise our Patreon. I don't know about doing it live tonight. It's a lot of work. And I don't pay any attention to the chat typically. So I'll read the chat after the fact if like Edward Norton or like one of our $10 backers and up is chatting, and they're like, I'll read the chat after the fact, but I don't read it during the podcast because I got a podcast to take care of, a pre-scripted podcast. Well, not pre-scripted, but pre-planned podcast. So, welcome back, Neil. Where you been? I know I haven't been here either. Yeah, Mark, you haven't really been. And here's the thing. It's not just that Neil is here. Mark and Neil are here. And those are 2 people that used to come to almost every stream I did. Whether it was a bonus stream. I remember I used to do a bonus stream like I'm doing now. Mark would show up out of nowhere being like, what the hell is going on? What's happening? Did something bad happen? Why is Nate streaming on a non-streaming night? I remember Mark showing up and freaking out thinking something bad was happening every time I streamed on a non-streaming night. Like I had some announcement that like I have an announcement about my grandpa being in the hospital like every non-scheduled stream night or something. I remember that. That was always fun seeing Mark's concern that something bad was happening. Working in kids is hard, man. I have a 45-hour-a-week job plus 2 hours in traffic per day nonstop from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah, dude. I have 3 children and I work 100 hours a week. Between this and my 2 other jobs, because I don't make enough money, admittedly, as a YouTuber to just do YouTube. Like 100 hours a week plus kids. The thing that gets lost in it usually is time for me and my fiance. We don't spend as much time together as we would like because I'm working my ass off. Or I'm taking care of the kids and giving her a break from taking care of the kids. So that's something that kind of gets swept up and lost in all of it as time for us. That's why I need to be better. Sometimes she just needs a break. Like a Tuesday this week, we ended up streaming. I didn't want to stream on Tuesday. I wanted to spend time with her, but she needed to get out of the house. And so I can't leave because the kids are here, so she left the house. So then I'm like, you know what? She's gone. Let's stream. Let me see here. Oh, we're doing a big night Monday if you can come. Yeah, Mark's going ham on Monday. So he's told me. We'll see. Monday's not here yet. But Mark's going ham on Monday apparently, so we're going to see what happens there. Let me see here. Yeah, Neil, oh man. If Neil and Mark make it out, it's going to be a crazy night. Maybe I should get Eric here for that night. He will not do the escalator, I can tell you that. But he'll do some shots with me if I can convince him to come out. Nintendo, understand that struggle, drive 3 hours. Oh, jeez. From work, 3 kids. Dude, 3 hour drive for work is rough. And trying to do YouTube. Man. It'll happen for you one day, man. Nothing's better than the rewards you get from your kid. That's the thing. All the tough times of the kids, all the complaints they might have, all the stress, like, at the end, it's all worth it. Like, to see the smile, like, to watch my kids be happy for even, like, 3 seconds makes all of the struggles of that day worthwhile to me, because ultimately I'm shaping their lives. A lot of their mannerisms, a lot of the ways that, a lot of their thoughts, a lot of their morals, a lot of how they, not that they can't have their own thoughts or anything as they get older, but a lot of the way they behave as they get older, and the way they respect the world they live in, is based on how they were raised. So there's so much on my shoulders with 3 kids like that. Then you guys know all too well that my fiance suffers from depression. So then I'm also trying to be my best to be there for her as best as I can while working 100 hours and supporting the family. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. I cried earlier today for about 20 minutes after my oldest son got on the bus to go to 4K. He got on the bus, I came in the house, and I just broke down crying from just how overwhelmed I've been, because there's just so much responsibility sitting on my shoulders to be strong 100% of the time for my kids, for my fiance, for the rest of my family, and work these crazy, insane hours that I do. It's hard at times, but you know what? Having a good cry here and there is always good. Gotta let that emotion out. The chair stream is classic. Is that the one that I was streaming and I vanished for 3 hours? Or would that be like one of the ones my kids started and then walked away and then was streaming for like 4 hours? I wonder if the chair on its own without me here could raise more money than me being here. Maybe I should start a stream like on Saturday. Post no videos on Saturday. Just do 24 hours straight of the chair. And then just have some random music playing in the background. Let me see here. If Duo shows up, I'll shit my pants. Nate told me to fuck off, down the booze, and puked. I've had a couple puking incidents. If you can afford it, you need some time with your partner. I know MP is important, but family. Yeah, dude. Well, the thing is, like right now, she's not even home. She's not home right now. Instead of the stream, I would have just went and hung out with her, but she's not home right now. So, where has Duo been? Duo borrowed out his Switch to somebody else so he could focus on school and life a bit more. He said he'll be back more in the summer. So wait till the school year's done, and then Duo should be showing back up the streams more. He's popped in now and then just to say hi, but yeah, he's focusing on some other stuff in life. He'll come back. I'm not worried. He'll come back this summer. Zach Sweenster said, if Mark and Neil commit to Monday, and Eric or Yulia is here, I'll go ham too. Well, if that's the case, I'll convince Eric to show up. I don't know if I can convince Yulia. She still has nightmares from the last time she fully streamed all night. But I might be able to convince Eric to come. If that'll make the Sweenster go nuts. Neil Willis, I have it saved. I'll send it to you. It's like 5 minutes long. What are you saying? Yo, you missed what one? Oh, when I told you to fuck off, and then I did the shot and puked. Neil, you were there. Just checked out early. Of course, I would leave early when something like that happens, dude. I've had some epic moments. I haven't had epic moments like that. There hasn't been a stream where I've gotten really hammered in a long time, because our guys that give the most money that make me do the hard alcohol haven't been here. So, yeah, I'll go through a whole bottle of wine or something, but this is only 6% alcohol, right? It's like doing a shitload of beers. And I usually don't get drunk off beers, so. I think, just think of it this, like I do. All efforts you do today pays off in the future. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I could have, if my fiance was here, I would have spent time with her. But, like, think about it. Like, just in this stream, we've made, like, $45 or something, or $50 because of a donation, too. Like, that's $50 I didn't have, 90 minutes ago. So, obviously the stream is paid off monetary-wise, but it also paid off because you guys helped me get this done. Like, I was drawing some blanks trying to do this myself, and you guys gave some awesome suggestions on like third-party companies and what games to look into, and I was able to compile the list I need for this podcast, which is the whole reason I did the stream, hoping that you guys could help me out because while I pay attention to a lot of stuff, I can't pay attention to literally everything. And I know a lot of you guys play third-party games that maybe I'm not thinking about. So yeah, I'm glad we were able to get this done. You guys have been a huge help tonight. So I'm kind of glad that I'm not glad that my fiance is gone, but I'm kind of glad that she's gone because this just made the rest of my night a lot easier. See, Zach, I'm gonna go like 150 on Monday. I'm really doing that to get Nate through May. Nice. In mid to late June, I'm gonna do. Oh God, that $500 night's gonna be. I'm gonna appreciate that too, because June June's pretty lean just for the money I have coming in. Like not, I mean, I might be making a piss load of money in June off of E3. I don't know, but I don't see that money until August, I think. So my actual revenue in June's pretty low. But man, $500, that's gonna be crazy. Mark has said this now for a couple of streams. We'll see if it actually comes true. It's one of those things. I'll believe the $500 comes when I see the $500 hit. And man, if that night, if we get a combined, you know, that is the night. If he does the 500, that we could break a record. Hell, if Neil Willis, Mark Greenberg, Zach, and any other people come in and start doing crazy maybe Supermental Dave pops in and does crazy, like we could break the record on freaking Monday. Because our record's, I have to look at, it's a little bit over $700. Was our record for money made in one night. Crazy numbers. Can you write down all the companies we'll discuss in the podcast, not now, as in attached to the podcast, so we know what's coming up? Yeah, so one thing I need to do better of with the podcast is timestamps. So for this podcast, what I need to do on Monday is timestamp when I talk about, when we start talking about each company. So here's where we talk about EA, here's where we talk about Ubisoft, here's where we talk about Bethesda and Square Enix and Capcom and blah, 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 blah. Down the list. Yeah, I do need to do a better job of that. I will try to remember that. I know I have this giant whiteboard I should write it on, but this whiteboard, I'm actually using. Did you guys see my video today with my little drawing of myself on the whiteboard? It was kind of funny. I had a good time drawing that one. But that whiteboard is going to be used in the background of a lot of videos. I have my other big whiteboard down here that I'm going to write notes on. And right now, the big thing that's written on that board is a big circle. Finish bingo. I got to get the bingo scored and get that out. Let me see here. Texters and Mark, let's get Neil, me, you, Jack. Oh yeah, Jack's another one. And Jack and Edward Norton, they're ones that you know, they don't always give a ton of money, but they show up almost every stream and give a little bit. And a few others here on Monday. Let's kick some major ass, dude. I mean, the record was set in what, January, February? I can't remember what that's the stream. The last stream that I saw Supermental Dave at when he hit me, I think he hit me with $200 that night. I think he hit me with, or maybe it was $250. I think he hit me with a $100. No, I think he hit me with a $50, a $100, a $150, and then he did a bunch of like 10s and 15s in there. And on top of that, once he started doing that, other people started hitting me with 50 and hundos, and the night just got freaking nuts. And then we broke the record big time. But that's all thanks to Supermental Dave. Like, he got it started. I don't think all of our people. I think Neil might have even been there. I can't remember. But I don't think everyone was planning to go huge that night. But they saw Supermental Dave do it, and they started realizing how close we were to breaking the record. And they're like, "Oh my God, let's break the record." 'Cause it feels like, even though it's money in my pocket, it feels like, I feel like when we break a record like that for most money in one night, it feels like this big community event, right? Because one person alone is not going to break that record. It takes a combined collective of people to do that, and it's nuts. I never thought we would break $100, let alone get $100 donations, let alone set a $300 or a $500 record, or now a $700. Heck, if we end up with a $1,000 night, I'm just going to be like, what the fuck? $1,000? Like, what the fuck? Like, literally, what the fuck? I remember like working at McDonald's full time and only making $1,000 in a month. Like, crazy. You see, but let's do it all in fives. All in fives. Just like $1 trillion $5 donations. For sure. Also, Nate, I made less than 200 before this Wednesday, so it'll be awesome. Yeah. It's been a rough month. It's been lean. It's been a very lean month. Last month was lean as well, but this month's actually been worse. It happens. You know, it's been really lean the last couple of months. Thankfully, I did pretty good for the like 3 months prior, so I've been kind of floating a little bit. Had my tax return land in there, which kind of helped a little bit as well. And then obviously, the E3 stuff, but that all went to E3. We're $1,000 over budget on E3 already. I told you guys when we raised $3,500 it wasn't going to be enough, and damn was I right. It wasn't enough. I've spent $1,000 past the budget. Now, thankfully, some of those are one-time purchases. So if I go to E3 next year, it won't be as expensive. The $700 spent on the camera, the $800 spent on the laptop, like those are one-time purchases. That's $1,500 right there. I can just subtract off of the budget that I spent this year of $4,500. And there's some merchandise we bought in there to advertise, some business cards now that we're not going to go through all of them, so we'll have those for next year. Little ways that I have business card holders as well that were part of the budget that's up there. So there's a lot of these little things that are one-time purchases as being the first time going as Nintendo Prime that I'm not going to have to buy again. That'll make it cheaper. So then I only have to worry about flight, hotel, and hopefully I never fucking need to buy a Gamer Pass again. I hope I can find a way to get in this media every goddamn year moving forward, because Gamer Passes are bullshit. You pay $250 for less floor time than a free media pass. $250 ESA per ticket? Are you kidding me? Ridiculous. Ridiculous. If you're going to limit my showtime, don't charge me $250 to be there, man. Like, limit the amount of tickets you're willing to hand out and sell them for $50 each. Come on. $500 plus all-in fives. It's my own favorite video. I'm not saying to stop normal videos, but if you stream full time, you could be the white Etika. Yeah. It's no secret that I make more money through live streams than I do through my videos. Most of the time. I mean, I had a video last month, I think, make $50, which was, I mean, I'm glad that happened. I got like 30,000 views or something. But yeah, you're down for a record-breaking night. Me too. Yeah, man. I mean, you guys saw that behind the scenes. I can't tell. It's your money. You do what you want with it. I can't tell you guys what to do. But yeah, what I can do, maybe I can look up the record. Maybe it'll show me on Streamlabs here. I know it was a while back. Let me see how far back can I go in Streamlabs. Let's go by month. I'll know because there'll be a crazy month of stuff. Was it April? No, it was March. It has to be March. It has to be March. Just looking at the... Oh, January was huge too. January and March were big. Let me go to... Well, I gotta remember, some of that though was Be Righteous. Oh, we just got... Something happened. Neil Willis... Did you just hit me with another 30 spot? It's not even popping up. Was that a late? That was late. That was a late pop-up in the stream. Because your $30 one was 23 minutes ago. Unless you did do another $30 and it just didn't. Let me know if that was a fresh 30, Neil, or not. It says it was a fresh 30. Hold on, let me go to YouTube. That was a super chat, right? Why is it not popping up? Yeah, I think you only did it once. I think Streamlabs, yeah, Streamlabs bugged out. I think it gave me that $30 twice. Because I see it listed twice on my end, but they both say 23 minutes ago. That's weird. That's weird that came in late. All right, let me see. Let me go back. It has to be March. March must have been when Supermario Dave showed up. Let me see if I can go back far enough here. It takes a while to go back to Streamlabs. I want to see what the record was. You know, not counting the Be Righteous donations for E3, because he did that outside of the stream. So I don't count the two, because Be Righteous had the 1,500 and the 1,000, but he didn't do those during live streams, so those don't count for the record. I mean, those count for the record of biggest donations I've ever got. Biggest donation we've ever gotten is 1,500 from a single person in one night or in one day, but that wasn't a live stream. Our live stream record is, and that was for E3, so it wasn't even money in my pocket. That was plane tickets, hotel room, blah, 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 blah. Let me see here. I think Eric's here now. Showing up last minute, man. The podcast is probably going to start late today. Okay, I'm in April. Oh man, how fast can I click to get back? I want to see what the record was. Oh, we had one. Whoa, yeah. Most of the money in April was from that one night. We had one nice night where we got like $150 in April. But hey, that carried the month pretty good in April. Hey Eric. Yeah, Eric's here. I'm just gonna find you guys what the record is, so you guys know, and then that'll be the end of the stream. I'm just going back here. Let's see here. Pretty sure it's in March. I mean, it looks like in March we had several big nights, several big $50 plus streams in March. So that's always good. Oh no. No, did it really screw up? Maybe the easiest way to do it isn't through here. Maybe I should go through pretty sure it was all super chats too. Maybe the easiest way to do it is to go through YouTube analytics and then look at super chats. I think it was early March too. Is it March 1st? March 1st. I think you just set down food by me. Nope, wasn't March 1st. Was it March 2nd? No. Was it? I'm going to find it. I screwed up on Streamlabs. No, it wasn't the 3rd. I should look at my normal stream days. Pretty sure it was a normal stream day. So it was normal stream day would have been Monday the 5th. Nope, that was a low day. Wednesday the 7th. Nope. What day was it? Was it a bonus stream? Did I hit big on a bonus stream? Was it a Saturday? Whatever. You know what? I'll find it and I'll mention it in Discord or something for Zachy, my boy, and he could pass it along because Eric's here and I gotta start setting up for the podcast. Edward Norton will be in for 25 or 30. Nice, man. Zach, be able to go bigger for the night when I do 500. Oh yeah, Mark Greenberg said he's planning to do 500 middle to late June. So probably either the week I'm back, the week after E3, or obviously the week after that because it's the final week of June. Probably when we're playing Mario Tennis Aces or something. McDonald's. Actually, he got Burger King. Burger King, not McDonald's. All right, folks. Thanks so much. I'll let you guys know what the record was for those curious. So you guys can plan accordingly if you want to maybe break it this month and then break it again next month. I don't know. You guys are crazy. All right. Peace out, guys.